Hello and welcome. I'm Charlie Gibson and I'm the head of mining research at Edison Investment Research here in London. And as a soothsayer might say at this time of year, beware the Ides of March. But as I like to say, where there's risk, there's also opportunity. And let's have a look at a chart of major metals and minerals, and this is 17 major metals and minerals, and how they performed so far this year. And several things that I want you to notice about this chart. And the first of these things is look at the overall performance. Now, if there's a lot of volatility there, you can see that some of the metals have gone up quite nicely. In fact, if you look at the best performing metal, or it's probably not a metal, it's a mineral, isn't it there? It is in fact oil, up year to date between 20 and 30%. Now that's something to be aware of, particularly if you're an equity investor, because that's a pretty good proxy for what prices are doing, or what costs are doing rather, for junior or indeed major oil mining, major mining companies as well. So that's something to be aware of. If oil has outperformed the metals, then that is going to tend to squeeze margins of the metals producers. The second thing I want you to notice is the overall performance. Now, if you look at the overall performance, the average of all of those metals and minerals is about 2.6%. But if you take out the three big fallers, cobalt, vanadium and tungsten, and I'm going to come back to those in a minute, you'll find that the performance is 9.1%. And I think over the course of effectively a quarter, 9.1% is a pretty fair performance. Obviously, if you annualize that, you're going to get something sort of north of 36%. So that's the background, if you like, to metals investment at the moment. Now, what about those three fallers? And these are the ones I want to concentrate on particularly at the moment. Now, we've got vanadium, tungsten and cobalt. Now, vanadium and tungsten were the two best performing metals last year. And you can see those very sharp reversals there. They're not so sharp in the case of tungsten, but it's definitely down, and it is pretty sharp in the case of vanadium and cobalt, which had already started its fall a long time before the end of last year in any event. But two things I want to make a point on in this particular case, and in the case of cobalt it's particularly significant. I always think that one of my criticisms, if you like, of financial markets is that they're extremely good at calling continuations of trends, and they're very bad at calling turning points. So which of these? Are these the start of new trends, or are these turning points? Now, I have to say in the case of vanadium, I think this could be a turning point. What you'll notice there is since the start of the year, the vanadium price has fallen by practically a third. Now, why is that not a turning point? It's simply this. If you look over the past, since 2001, what I'd regard as the start of the bull market, you'll see that vanadium is up by something like 23 times. So if it's fallen by a third, it's up 14 times. And against historic performance, therefore, I think that it's a metal with huge volatility, and I think that probably in this case the trend is your friend. I think exactly the reverse in the case of cobalt. If you look at the cobalt price now, it is very, very similar to where it was before the boom, before the cobalt price started moving up. And it moved up very strongly through 2017 and into 2018 where it peaked, and then it's been falling ever since. But if you look at now the actual price of the metal, after that big fall, that near 50% retracement, it's where it was effectively in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2014, all the way to 2015. So I think that's a turning point. So am I bullish on cobalt? On the basis that it is a component on these nickel metals, and I think it will go higher, and it's the battery metals, I should say, not the nickel metals. Am I bearish on vanadium? Yes, I still am.